From the desolate expanses of the Taklamakan Desert to the bustling markets of ancient Rome, humanity has always been driven by a restless curiosity, a desire for the unknown, and the allure of distant treasures. This is the story of the Silk Road, not a single path, but a vast, intricate network of trade routes that crisscrossed continents for over 1,500 years, connecting the East and West in a symphony of exchange, adventure, and often peril. Imagine, if you will, the world in the 2nd century BCE. To the east, the mighty Han dynasty of China, a sprawling empire of unparalleled sophistication. To the west, the nascent Roman Republic, soon to be an empire, already yearning for exotic luxuries. Between them lay a colossal expanse, a tapestry of mountains, deserts, and steppes, inhabited by diverse peoples, powerful nomadic tribes, and untold riches. It was across this formidable landscape that the Silk Road would weave its legendary tale. Our story truly begins with a man named Zhang Qian. In approximately 138 BCE, Emperor Wu of the Han dynasty, plagued by the constant incursions of the formidable Xiongnu nomads, dispatched Zhang Qian on a perilous mission. His goal: to forge an alliance with a mysterious Western people, the Yuezhi, who had been displaced by the Xiongnu. Zhang Qian's journey was fraught with danger. He was captured by the Xiongnu, held captive for over a decade, married, and had children. Yet his resolve remained unbroken. He eventually escaped, continued his mission, and though he failed to secure the alliance, his return to Chang'an, the Han capital, in 126 BCE, marked a pivotal moment. He brought back detailed accounts of previously unknown lands: Fergana with its magnificent, heavenly horses, Bactria with its Hellenistic culture, and the vast wealth of India. This was the spark that ignited China's interest in the West, establishing the first formal connections that would later blossom into the Silk Road. The commodities that traveled these routes were as diverse as the cultures that exchanged them. While silk lent its name to the network, it was far from the only treasure. From China came porcelain, tea, paper, gunpowder, and the exquisite, shimmering fabric itself, the secret of its production fiercely guarded for centuries. From the West came gold, silver, glass, wool, linen, and horses, spices from India, furs from Siberia, and precious stones from Central Asia also found their way onto the backs of camels and donkeys. Compelling fact 1. The value of silk in the Roman Empire was astronomical. Roman historian Pliny the Elder, writing in the 1st century CE, lamented that the Roman Empire was draining its treasury to purchase silk from the East. He famously complained that Roman women wore transparent garments that were little better than nakedness, and that the annual drain of wealth for luxuries like silk amounted to staggering sums. Some estimates suggest up to 100 million sesterces per year. This economic imbalance was a constant source of concern for Roman authorities, highlighting the sheer demand and perceived exoticism of Chinese silk. But the Silk Road was more than just a conduit for goods. It was a superhighway of ideas, technologies, and beliefs. Buddhism, originating in India, traveled eastwards along these very routes, carried by merchants and monks. The breathtaking cave temples of Dunhuang, Mogao grottos, in China's Gansu province, stand as a testament to this spiritual journey. Thousands of painted murals and sculptures, dating from the 4th to the 14th centuries, depict Buddhist narratives, deities, and daily life, showcasing a vibrant fusion of Indian, Central Asian, and Chinese artistic traditions. Islam, too, would later make its way across Central Asia and into parts of China via these same pathways. Technology also flowed freely. The Chinese invention of paper making, a closely guarded secret for centuries, eventually made its way west, profoundly impacting literacy and the spread of knowledge in the Islamic world and later Europe. Gunpowder, printing techniques, and sophisticated agricultural methods also diffused across continents, fundamentally altering societies and shaping the course of human history. Compelling fact 2. The Silk Road, while facilitating immense cultural and economic exchange, also inadvertently became a super spreader for disease. The most devastating example is the Black Death. Historians largely agree that the bubonic plague, caused by the bacterium Yersinia pestis, originated in Central Asia. It traveled westward along the trade routes, carried by infected fleas on rats that hitched rides on merchant caravans. By the mid-14th century, it had reached the Crimea, then Europe, devastating populations and fundamentally reshaping social, economic, and political structures across Eurasia. This catastrophic consequence underscores the double-edged nature of global interconnectedness. Life on the Silk Road was not for the faint-hearted. Merchants, often Sogdians from Central Asia who became the linguistic and commercial intermediaries of the routes, faced immense challenges. They navigated treacherous mountain passes like the Pamirs, known as the roof of the world, endured the scorching heat and sandstorms of the Taklamakan Desert, and braved the threat of bandits. Caravans, sometimes stretching for kilometers, would rely on a chain of oasis cities, Samarkand, Bukhara, Merv, Kashgar, for water, supplies, and respite. These cities blossomed into vibrant cultural melting pots, where people of different ethnicities, languages, and religions coexisted and traded. The Roman fascination with silk reached its peak during the imperial period. The sheer volume of silk reaching Rome was staggering, often arriving via intermediary ports like Palmyra in Syria or Antioch, before being transported overland to the Mediterranean coast. Emperors attempted, with varying success, to curb the expenditure on foreign luxuries. Yet, the allure of the exotic, the soft touch of silk, and its symbolic association with status and power proved irresistible. Compelling fact 3. The secrecy surrounding silk production was so intense that for over 800 years, China maintained a near absolute monopoly. The penalty for smuggling silkworm eggs, cocoons, or the mulberry seeds needed to feed the worms out of China was death. Despite these stringent measures, the secret eventually leaked. According to legend, in the 6th century CE, 2 Nestorian monks, perhaps at the behest of the Byzantine Emperor Justinian I, managed to smuggle silkworm eggs out of China, hidden inside hollowed-out bamboo canes. This act effectively broke China's monopoly and allowed the Byzantine Empire to establish its own silk industry. Though Chinese silk remained highly prized for centuries, the Silk Road's influence waned and waxed over the centuries. The Tang dynasty, 618 to 907 CE, in China saw a golden age of international trade and cultural exchange, with Chang'an becoming the world's largest and most cosmopolitan city. However, political instability, the rise of powerful Islamic empires, and later, the fragmentation of Central Asia, periodically disrupted the routes. Compelling fact 4. the Mongol Empire, in the 13th and 14th centuries, inadvertently revitalized and secured the Silk Road. Under the Pax Mongolica, a period of relative peace and stability enforced by the vast Mongol Empire, trade routes were protected, and travel became safer than it had been for centuries. This facilitated an unprecedented flow of goods, people, and ideas across Eurasia. It was during this period that Marco Polo, the Venetian merchant, traveled extensively through Asia, reaching the court of Kublai Khan in China and documenting his experiences in the travels of Marco Polo, which profoundly influenced European perceptions of the East. However, the golden age of the overland Silk Road eventually gave way to new horizons. The Age of Exploration, spearheaded by European maritime powers from the late 15th century onwards, sought direct sea routes to the east, bypassing the intermediaries and dangers of the overland journey. Vasco da Gama's circumnavigation of Africa in 1498, opening a direct sea route to India, marked a significant turning point, gradually diminishing the strategic importance of the ancient land routes. Yet, the legacy of the Silk Road endures, echoing in our modern, interconnected world. It was the first true highway of globalization, a testament to humanity's enduring drive to explore, to connect, and to exchange. It shaped empires, spread religions, diffused technologies, and enriched countless cultures. It reminds us that our world is not a collection of isolated islands, but a deeply interwoven tapestry, threads of which were first spun on the ancient pathways between East and West. Compelling fact 5. The Silk Road was not just about luxury goods. It played a crucial role in the dissemination of fundamental agricultural crops. Peaches and apricots, for instance, originated in China and traveled west along the Silk Road, eventually becoming staples in European diets. Similarly, alfalfa, grapes, and walnuts were introduced to China from Central Asia. This exchange of agricultural knowledge and plant species had a profound and lasting impact on global food systems, diversifying diets and supporting population growth across continents. A less glamorous but equally vital aspect of its legacy, the Silk Road was more than just trade routes. It was a crucible of human experience, a testament to resilience, innovation, and the shared human spirit. It laid the groundwork for the globalized world we inhabit today, a powerful reminder that the desire for connection and discovery is a timeless, universal force. And as we look at the intricate web of global trade and cultural exchange today, we can still see the faint, shimmering threads of that ancient, legendary journey, the Silk Road. Closing curly bracket. Opening curly bracket. YouTube_title. The Silk Road. Empires, Intrigue and Ancient Globalization.